The last 3 years that I was in the Army, I was working at the NATO headquarters in Brussels. I was, an advisor to the U.S. representative to NATO, military representative, but also the head IT guy. And I was reading the cable traffic that came across, and it included State Department cable traffic. And as I was telling Liz about this, is very strange. All of a sudden, going from just reading operational types of messages having to do with upcoming deployments and readiness levels of units and changes in the PC standards or whatever. I have this message traffic having to do with the State Department issues, relations with foreign countries, relations with the Vatican even. And then from time to time, there were church-related things involved in the cable traffic. And they always put it under the classification of confidential, at least, so that, I couldn't just take a copy of it and go bring it back to the States and distribute it or whatever. I mean, I could never copy it and pass it along to people without getting into trouble. But it was very clear that within our State Department, there were people who disagreed vehemently with the teachings of the church, that were pushing for a modernization. They saw Cardinal Ratzinger, our future Pope, and even Pope John Paul II is very backwards and stuck in the past. And the word medieval was thrown around sometimes. And I would like to appeal publicly to Secretary of State Rubio to go back. Let me do it. I'll be glad to go back through this stuff. Just declassify it. Let's do a Freedom of Information Act type of a release of some of this stuff so that American Catholics can see what the government officials at the highest levels of the State Department thought of us. Now, that was the Clinton State Department, but I'm sure, a lot of those people are professional. They're there for years and years. To me, it was a bit shocking. I went down the hall. There was I had a friend who was, I knew to be a good Catholic, and I showed it to him. I said, pull this up, take a look at that. What do you think of that? And he read it, and he just said something about, those are just a bunch of State Department weenies, was I think the word he used. But, to me, I couldn't consider it so lightly as that, just to say, oh, those are just State Department people, because these are people who are interacting with people who form our foreign policy. And so after that very disturbing series of revelations, like I said, I left the Army in 2001. I got as far away from Washington, D.C. as I could. And it wasn't until 2013 when I heard that Pope Benedict had resigned that I started thinking, this just doesn't look right. I mean, I knew they didn't like him. I knew that there were people placed very high in our government who didn't like him. And I think that's what we need to make the focus of our concern these days is what is the government doing with our church? They have no business monitoring our conclaves. They have no business even concerning themselves with what our church teaches. They can mind their own business. And that's what we need to push for. We need to push for accountability for people in our government who have been involved in any such thing. And then we also need to make it very, very clear that we're not putting up with any of this. And Liz made a great point. People all over the world are counting on us.
Hi, everyone. This is John Henry Weston for LifeSite News. We hope you found this video insightful. For more content like this, be sure to check out the links in the description below. You can also follow us on social media to stay updated on the latest news concerning life, faith, family, and freedom. Thanks for watching, and may God bless you.